What is up, folks? I have some interesting videos today. We're going to look at people like Ranveer Labadi and their opinions on atheism. And I thought, instead of just me rambling about my comments on the video, I thought I should have someone who has a lot more expertise than I do about this topic of atheism. And for that, we have Wimo.
Hello, and I doubt if I should be classified as someone with a lot of experience, but I'm glad you think so. It's always nice to have see people have a bloated opinion of you.
So I will share my screen now. So this is Ranveer Labha. They're talking to someone called @Gurudev. You might recognize who that is. Talking about why does atheism exist in the world. So let's hear him out.
Why do you think atheism exists as a concept? Rejecting this idea of a higher power or a god or the universe, where too many people think too kind of outward. They don't value anything other than themselves. Where does this idea come from? Why does it exist in the first place?
Okay. Oh, it's Sri Ravi Shankar. Yeah, I want to pause before that. But I think there is a bit we can comment on about what Ranveer said. So he's saying that if you're an atheist, you don't value anything other than yourself. So what do you think about that? What do you have to say about that?
I think it's a basic straw man. I mean, It's a very basic level straw manning. It's like, why do you think tomato soup exists out there? Why is that some people like to put burning hot lava into their mouth? So you have implied that tomato soup and burning hot lava are the same thing. They're not. What Ranveer is talking about, he's talking about atheism, and then he's giving the definition of something else, which is selfishness. I could argue that believing in God is selfish, because Ranveer Alabadia himself has a video out there where he says that he was in an accident and he started believing in God because he was the only one who was unhurt. Now, did God hate everyone else and God only love him? Because that is selfishness, no? So the definition itself is wrong. The atheism means not having belief in God. It is that simple. Why do you think atheists exist? Because there are some people who don't believe in God.
Yeah. And also quite often the ones who do believe in God want to exert the power or the authority of their own beliefs, their own religion. So if anything, you can make an argument that the people with these beliefs are the ones that are selfish.
If there are like 4 religions and an atheist does not believe in any of them, and there is someone who believes in one of them, that person still lacks belief in the remaining 3.
Yep.
So he's an atheist from the perspective of those 3 religions.
Let's watch what Sri has to say on this.
It was a result of Western civilization. When the churches controlled people's lives and the government, there was a rebellion against the organized religions in the...
I will agree with this partly, that a huge motivation for that rise of atheism was the church and the power it wielded and the control it had on the government. But I watched this video before, and what he says after this, what Sri says after this is utter nonsense. Just watch.
The West, especially in Russia.
In Russia.
In the West, especially in Russia. And then when the Soviet Union prospered, when it became a huge country with atheism as its central core, India definitely got influenced by that.
Okay, let's pause it for a second over there. First of all, church was strongest in the Vatican, in Italy, in Europe, saying that the church, particularly in Russia, this happened is again a straw man, is a misrepresentation. Another thing is that the Soviet Union's core philosophy was not atheism. It was communism. And saying that atheism is the same as communism, or associating atheism as the philosophy behind governments that are communistic in nature is again another straw man. So, what Vimu, any?
Well, I'm glad that when he said Western, he did not say Australia. That is first, because that would have kind of made his case for him. Also, this guy can say anything, literally anything. Also, I think it's a kind of a lazy answer. I don't think he's stupid, but I do think that he kind of phoned it in. It seems like he was not really into the conversation, and he said, "काम चलाने के लिए कुछ भी बोल डालता हूँ यार, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?" Because this is apparently a sadhu figure who's
Yeah.
denying the existence of atheistic thought in ancient India itself. We have had plenty of atheistic schools of thought in India from before Christ, right? So for him to forget all of that and arrive in Russia at the time of the Soviet Republic is I don't know what to say about it. First of all, obviously, as you said, he's equating communism and atheism, which is bizarre. And secondly, this is strawmanning part 2. Radveer said atheism means not caring about other people. Shri says atheism means communism. So through their combined khichdi of mixing it up, strawmanning, they have only proven one thing, which is that communism means not caring about other people, which is false on another level. This conversation is not at all about atheism. This is something else happening. These guys have opened a restaurant and they're preparing a khichdi there, which has nothing to do with what was ordered by the client.
Correct. Oh man, I loved how you put it. Okay.
India was closer to USSR, the Soviet Union, and we started appreciating. We were amazed looking at US and the way they have progressed, and they said religion is a mafia, and we nodded because we thought our poverty is because of our religion. Though not everybody, but most people of that generation, educated lot, thought maybe this is the way of life. But when USSR disintegrated, when the swimming pools, which were once upon a time a church, became church again, the whole concept of atheism was out of the window, even in China. Then we started waking up to this reality.
What is it like? First of all, I think that swimming pool thing makes a little more sense to me now, which is that I think he's talking about buildings which were converted into churches, were converted into swimming pools, and then later when communism went away, the swimming pool buildings were converted back to church again. Maybe that is what he's talking about.
Wait, actual literal swimming pools?
I don't know. I think that's what he's talking about. I don't know of any such things, but it is possible that a communist state, which would, ban the practice of religion or prevent people from going to church, would convert the churches into places of public utility. And when church and religion comes back, they will be converted back to church. Maybe that is what he's talking about. But again, this seems like a phoned-in thing where he's like, when did atheism die in China? When did atheism die in China? आज तक लोग चाइना को कम्युनिस्ट बोलते हैं, despite the fact that it is probably better described as capitalistic. And we looked at USSR and we decided to become atheistic. Is he saying USSR was maximally opposed to America? Is he saying America is what he thinks of as religious? And if that is true, is he advocating for Christianity? I don't understand. This entire conversation is, this is so bizarre. This is like you and I went to a hotel. We ordered a salad. Ranveer came and took our order. He went to the kitchen and he said chicken tandoori. And then Sadhguru prepared a pizza and gave it to him. And now we are eating pizza for some reason. Nobody knows what is going on in this.
Yeah, true, very true. And also the breakdown of USSR, which had its own other political reasons, is what is ascribing as the breakdown of atheism.
Yeah.
Which clearly these are completely unrelated things that he's associating. And we had atheism for centuries in this country. We had people in the independence movement. Back then we had people who were open atheists. Yeah, I think Nehru was an open atheist.
I'm not sure about that, but Nehru was probably better described as in he
as
could
secular.
have been. But I would like to point out, Bhagat Singh was inspired by Lenin.
Yeah, Bhagat Singh.
And he was an atheist. And Lenin is from Russia. What the duck are these guys talking about?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next video. All right. This here is Anurag Kashyap talking about the kind of atheist that he is. So let's hear what he has to say.
I'm an atheist. लेकिन मैं मंदिर जाता हूँ. मैं मंदिर इसलिए नहीं जाता हूँ. मंदिर जाता हूँ, अगर कोई लेके जाता तो मैं जाता हूँ.
कोई टीका लगाए तो लगवा.
किसी के घर के ट्रेडिशन होते हैं तो उनके घर के ट्रेडिशन मैं फॉलो करता हूँ. किसी घर में आप घुसो, साउथ में जाओ स्पेशली, आप चप्पल बाहर उतारते हो, बाहर उतार के अंदर घुसता हूँ. तो मेरी आदत है, मैं हायर की हुई टैक्सी में भी अगर सिगरेट पीता हूँ तो ड्राइवर से पूछता हूँ, आपकी गाड़ी में सिगरेट पी सकता हूँ शीशा नीचे करके. हम लोग ऐसे बड़े हुए हैं टू रेस्पेक्ट अदर पीपल्स ट्रेडिशन. कोई श्रद्धा के साथ मुझे मिठाई खिलाता है तो मैं ऐसा करके खाता हूँ. उसकी श्रद्धा है, उसका फेथ है. मैं उसमें आर्गुमेंट नहीं करता. मैं जैसा हूँ मैं वैसा हूँ. मैं इम्पोज नहीं करता अपने आप को किसी के ऊपर. करेक्ट. एट द सेम टाइम बनारस में बड़ा हूँ, घाट पे बैठ के बड़ा हूँ. वहां की जो शांति है वो मुझे अच्छी लगती है. वहां का जो धंधा है वो मुझे नहीं अच्छा लगता.
So yeah, Vimo, what's your opinion on this?
So my view on this is that I actually frequently get this question from people in my live stream about, hey, I'm an atheist. Should I attend a puja? Should I practice in religious rituals and stuff? And I think there are two kinds of people who deal with this. The first kind actually says ki I can be an atheist while doing all of this. And what they mean by it is that they don't want to let go of their religious identity, despite, not agreeing with the religion's supernatural claims. So these guys end up calling themselves Hindu atheist and something, and I think that's a hypocritical position. The second kind lives among people, right? And people have religious practices in their home, and they do try to, make other people part of it. It is possible to take part in these things while making abundantly clear that you do not believe in the religion, which I think Mr. Anurag Kashyap does here. A lot depends on his intention. If he's not practicing or promoting the religion, and he's simply taking part in it when he goes to someone's house just to make sure that, he's being respectful towards them, I don't think there is a problem with it. But he should also, he's a public person, right? He should also be mindful of what all he's ending up promoting. Because suppose he goes to someone, not him, suppose anyone, suppose an atheist goes to someone's house, and the practice that they're being expected to take part in is casteist or patriarchal. Will they still do it out of respect for the family? I don't think that is a good thing. Here he was just talking about prasad and tilak, etc. I don't know to what extent people might have a problem with it, but yeah, that is what I think. I think this particular clip is too short to make heads or tails out of his intentions, but I think he did a decent job of making clear the problem. A lot of people have this problem. Almost every week I get this question from someone, and my common answer is atheist means not believing in God. If you don't believe and you are just doing it to keep preventing fights from happening in the house, there are better fights that you can have. Choose the fights you get into. This is not worth getting into a fight over.
So one point I want to add to that is quite often people like these, people who declare they're an atheist, do so out of their own privilege, can afford to do so out of their own privilege. And some people with that privilege, even though they'll say they're an atheist for the clout of being an atheist or whatever, but at the same time they will endorse or support the institutions that gave them that privilege. What I understand out of what I saw is that he's such a person, and there are plenty of people who will say they're Hindu atheists because they uphold the institutions that gave them that privilege. Even though as an atheist, personally for me at least, I'm against those institutions, those religions as an atheist. Quite often such people are often right-wingers. They promote right-wing policies that are often casteist or religious like supportive of one particular religion by nature. They're supportive of such policies and such parties, and so yeah, that's what I think.
So here's the thing: if Anurag Kashyap had been a Muslim and he ate prasad and put on a tilak just to respect someone's view, that would mean one thing. But Anurag Kashyap, as a Hindu, or rather an upper caste Hindu also, taking part in these rituals just cements his Hindu privilege. And I'm not sure to what extent he's aware of it. And I'm not sure he's aware to what extent it encourages other people to see him as a representative and a promoter of Hinduism.
Yep. And I can think of, I can think of many examples off the top of my head of people who will openly call themselves atheists, but are actually supportive of right-wing policies. Are proper right-wingers, are proper right-wing atheists. That's what I call them. And they label themselves as Hindu atheists.
And by the way, one more point. I'm an atheist. I go to Hindu homes and I have visited Muslim homes also. You don't need to take part in the religious rituals in order to be liked by them. You can just say, nahi, tilak main nahi lagata. I'll take the food, thank you very much, because food is nice. And you can do that. It is. I doubt anyone who's a reasonably sensible person will say, क्या ये मेरे घर में आया तिलक नहीं लगाया मैं इसको अपने घर से निकाल दूंगा. I doubt that will happen.
Not just to be liked by them, to be respectful to them.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a pushover just to be respectful to someone. You can assert your own beliefs while still being respectful, without being disrespectful. So I want to show you one more video that is somewhat along similar lines, but it's a little different.
Okay.
I want to see what you think about that.
Who is this person?
ஆனா நீங்க விபூதி கொடுத்தாலும் சரி வச்சுக்கோங்க.
Oh shit, man!
It's
I
Malayalam.
forgot this was in Tamil. Okay, I'll translate.
Cool.
நான் உங்களை மதிக்கிறேன். எனக்கு என் மேல அன்பு கொண்டு ஒருத்தர் கொடுக்குறாங்க இல்லையா?
So he's saying that he is an atheist, but my respect for you means that I will behave in certain ways to please you. And that's basic respect. Let's see the rest of what he's saying.
நான் இன்னொருத்தர் மேல திணிக்க மாட்டேன். இது என்னோட சிந்தனை இது. அதனால நான் இதுதான் கரெக்ட்னு யார்ட்டையும் ஆர்கியூ பண்ணவும் மாட்டேன்.
So he's saying that these are my thoughts, my beliefs, but so I won't argue with people and assert that this is the only correct thing.
என்ன பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் நான் சக மனுஷனை மதிக்கிறேன், நேசிக்கிறேன்.
So he's saying that as far as I'm concerned, I love and respect my fellow human being.
அவங்களதான் நான் கடவுளா பார்க்கிறேன்.
I see them as God.
ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு தேவைன்னா இன்னொரு மனுஷன் தான் வரப்போறாங்க.
If I need something, I need to rely on my fellow human beings.
இது இன்னொன்னு கடவுள் மறுப்புன்னு இல்லை. நான் சக மனுஷனை கடவுளா பார்க்கிறேன்னு சொல்றேன்.
This is not belief in God, but I see everyone as God. So yeah, that's basically.
And that says thanks for watching. I could read that. I don't have a huge problem with what he said. I would probably not use, when we use the word God to talk about human beings, we are in some way kind of sort of implying that respect for God is somehow superior to respect for humans. We could just say, I respect you, I love you, I value you. That's it. That's enough. We don't have to say, to me, you are God. But maybe he's doing that because the person who he is speaking to will understand him better if he says, you are God to me. That happens sometimes. Metaphorical language, it's understandable. The usage is understandable.
I agree with you. I think this what he said I can agree with in many ways, because he's mostly talking about respect and humanity and all that stuff, which is sentiments are all agreeable. But again, agreeing with you, like you said, using that metaphor of God can, like when it goes out to people who do hold such beliefs, they will use that same word God that he's using to endorse or to validate their own beliefs of God. So people who don't believe in God the way he does will use what he said to validate their own beliefs in God. They will use that to see their own beliefs as superior, whatever. And often this is what happens with people like Jordan Peterson. He uses the word God in a more or less metaphorical sense. But a lot of people who follow him, who are fans of him, are people who believe in God in a more literal sense.
I'm
who
not sure
have
Jordan
strong
Peterson kind of
beliefs.
does that, because I've also seen him in an interview where someone said, "Do you believe in the literal resurrection of Jesus?" And he did not say, "No, I don't." He said it's a very complex matter. So I think at the end of the day, it depends on the atheist who's talking to make himself or herself or themselves as clear as possible. Ki this is a metaphor. You believe in the existence of a being called God. You associate a certain respect towards that being. I do not believe in that being. I do not believe that literally happens. But you may say that whatever feelings you have towards that being, I have generally towards humankind.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson deliberately confuses matters. Deliberately.
In the example you said, Jordan Peterson didn't reply with "Yes, I do" either. He didn't say "No, I don't," but he
Yeah,
didn't
so
say
he,
"Yes, I do" either.
like Deepak Chopra, he thrives on confusion.
He wants people to confuse what he's saying with a literal belief in God, but he doesn't want to say any of that explicitly. Ironically, one of his rules from 12 Rules for Life is be precise in your speech. So,
And also clean your room, which he never does.
But yeah, that's what we have for you today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you, and Vimu will
Also-
see you on his channel.
This is being recorded on January 1st, so Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah, it'll be released on January 1st.
Cool. So Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year, and Vimu's channel link down below. I will see you in the next one.
Yep. Bye-bye.